Hello, welcome everyone. And in the round of interviews today again, we have a very famous author with us from the Wings publication, and we will talk to him, understand a lot about book. And before we talk about his book, I want to introduce you to all of you. If you're watching it live, you can ask questions, but if you're watching it later on recordings somewhere on our social media channels, you can still put a comment and we will still ask the question and get the reply from the author. So today we are meeting author Prakash Thalya, and he has 30 years of experience in pest control, agriculture, corporate management. He has worked with diverse global business setups, and he's a certified coach. He has held leadership positions in Bayer Environmental Science as a country division head, and he has played advisory role in the area of pest control, vector control. He has coached more than 1,000 people and holds certification credits, including PCC credentials from ICF. He's a certified life coach, team coach, practitioner, and from EMCC. So he also is a coach from TLC, Teachers Are Leaders community, and he'll also be sharing a lot of things. He had a co-author, Mr. Ravi Chandra. They both wrote the book. We will get to know a lot about them. And let me also tell you the name of the book. It's called Essentials of Pest Management, Key Information on Pest Identification and its Management. The most important thing about this book is this is the only book available in India, rather I can also say it in the world, which talks specifically about Indian pests. So there's no book available on Indian pests. There's a lot of other organizations and associations are asking this book to be converted into many languages, to start with Tamil. So welcome to you, Prakashji. Thank you for joining us today. And I want you to share a little bit about what thought came to your mind, how you were inspired to write this book about pest management. It's a very unique topic.
Thank you, Dr. Kailash, for that beautiful introduction. I would not have done that introduction had you given an opportunity to me. So thanks a lot. Coming to the book, Essentials of Pest Management, I was worked in this pest control industry for about last 20 years of my service out of 30 years. First 10 years I spent in agrochemicals, and next 20 years in public health and pest control. So I was thinking that, for most of the pest controllers, what they do, and including me when I started, we were only looking and referring the books written by foreign authors. I mean, there was no indigenous book as such, a consolidated book. Here and there we do get information. Nowadays, Google Baba will help everybody, but still a consolidated book which can be referred was not there. So this idea was there with us for about last 5 years. We were discussing. And one fine day, so after joining TLC and becoming a regular visitor and in the meetings of TLC, I also attended one program called Writing a Book in 30 Days. How do we do that? So then this idea of becoming an author has become more stronger and stronger, and started visualizing it. And I had a discussion with my colleague, my counterpart, Ravi Chandra. And then we decided that, yes, well, why don't we bring out an Indianized book for pest control, which will be a ready reckoner for pest control business people and as well as the students. Yeah, so that is how the idea came in. And last year, August, we discussed and decided that we should go ahead with that. And finally, in the month of February, we were totally ready with our book and launched it in April. Yeah. So that was the story of our book. Yeah.
One important question from the audience point of view: how many pests you are talking about in the book?
Ah, we are actually talking about 64 pests. Yeah,
Wow.
you took it right word, pest. Yeah, because it is not only the insects, it is all pests that invade our houses and offices and establishments in urban area. So that is all about, and 64 pests. So what we have done is we have given the biology of the pest, starting from egg to the adult, and its occurrences. So
Hmm.
where normally those pests, where we have to look for those pests. Yeah,
Hmm.
so the areas of occurrences and also its management.
Correct.
So we have given the least priority. One good thing is that we have given the least priority for chemical treatment. So
Wow.
here, what we have mentioned is, how we can manage the pest. We just cannot eradicate the pest. I mean,
Correct.
people have understood that anything which is natural, which is there in the nature, we cannot eradicate it. We need to live with it. We should
Live.
learn how to live with it, and we can manage those pests without disturbing our existence and their existence. So chemical treatment comes to the at the last resort. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that is
And
what we have mentioned in our book.
so the listeners, I'm asking you right now, do you know there are 64 types of pests who we symbiotically living right now? We may not be happy they being in our house, but we are living with them. So if you want to know
Yes.
64 and you want to know how 64, what all 64, I want you to go to Amazon, write the name Prakash Thalya or Pest Management. You'll find his book, go and buy this book if you really want to dig deeper and understand all those 64 pests. Yes, Prakash.
Yes, those 64, it is more than 64 pests that are available, that are existing. But we have picked up the important one, economically important one.
Hmm.
There were some questions by the people that, we have included honeybees
Hmm.
as a pest. So
Correct.
because there will be a lot of resistance from the agriculture community, because as a farmer, and as working
Yeah.
with the farmer, honeybee is a beneficial insect
Correct.
to the farmer, to the crops. But when it comes to the urban area, it
Yes.
will act as a pest. It will become a
Right.
pest. So that is also we have mentioned. Yeah.
So I want to understand, do you see how many years you had this thought in the mind that one day you will write the book? Any idea?
I had a thought. I had a thought long back that when I quit my job and to become an independent coach, it was lingering in my mind that I should write a book. So it is almost 5.5 years ago, 2017, I quit. Since then, yes, I was thinking that I should become an author. That
Hmm.
was the dream. That was the thing which I was visualizing rather. So, but somehow or the other, when I take a pen and paper and sit, and the pen will never move. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. So how to start, how to make a beginning. So struggling with that. Then, so as you rightly said, it was around 5 years ago, I started dreaming about writing a book. Yeah.
So 5 years, authors. But when you started writing, actually decided to write and finish, how much time did you took? Approximately.
Now, if I add pooling up of information, references, and talking to the scientific community, cross-checking with them, and all those things, if I leave that part, preparation part apart, I think we took somewhere around 40 days in reality to write this
Wow.
book. But otherwise, it is around 6 months
So
total.
people who are listening to me right now, listening to Prakashji right now, you may have a thought from 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, but actual execution wise, it will take higher side 6 months for preparation, and actual penning down would not be for 30, 40, 50 days work. So
Max.
please go ahead and do that, go and write your book. I want to ask you next question. What is the role of mentor in book writing? Because a lot of people think, Prakash ji, कि book तो मुझे लिखना है. What will mentor do? But do you think it is important to have a mentor in book writing?
I call, yes, it is required. Mentoring is definitely required. But I don't call them as a mentor, because the idea of book writing and
Please.
how you want to write, everything will come from within. Maybe a little bit of corrections here and there, suggestions they can give. Mentor, I see in the form of accountability partner,
Correct.
just to check that how are you progressing.
Hmm.
Whatever we do, sometimes the procrastination keeps coming in, and to avoid that procrastination, so if there is a mentor in the form of accountability partner, to cross check where have you been now, I mean, what is the status, how many chapters you have completed. Yeah, so I mean, that type of follow up will definitely push us that we will definitely write, complete our book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Another question everyone thinks, though I know the answer, but I want to listen from your experience as a first time author. Finding the publisher is a difficult task. And I would say, right publisher is the difficult task. Finding publishers may be simple, but you need a right person, right company to back you up on the book. So how was your experience with finding a publisher and the publisher you worked with?
Yeah, finding a publisher, okay, to me, Kailash and Wings publisher was immediately they came to my mind, and then I immediately started off. So I didn't had that difficulty with Wings publication, but I have heard with my friends and all who have written book, that when you go to as a new author, first time writer, the publishers will not normally will not look at you, or they may not give you a preference. All those difficulties are there. That's what I have heard. But as a first time author, I did not face that problem, because Wings publication was there in front of me, and I directly approached.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just taking this question ahead, I also would like to ask you, if I tell you to point out 3 good things you liked about Wings publication.
Yeah.
I know you have gone through experience. We had a lot of Zoom calls on a lot of things. So what 3 things would you highlight, saying that these are 3 good things, are the best thing in the Wings publication in the process of publishing?
Yes. One is weekly update through the Zoom calls. After giving the draft to Wings publication, there's 3 continuous Zoom calls was really a good thing. And asking the probing questions, when why it is like this, why it is not like this, why don't you do this? So it was a suggestive mode, but also making us to think that, yes, if I put this book in this format, how it looks like. So those probing questions were really, really good. It was instigating our thinking process. So that was good, because me and Ravichandra, we were discussing that how it should come out. And when we were doing the Zoom call, then the question will come from Wings publication that, yes, why are you thinking in this direction? Why don't you think in this direction? So that is one very good thing which has come up, which I have experienced with Wings. And also, the style, the font size or the font thing. So those suggestions given to us by Wings publication was very, very useful. And editing. In fact, before giving it to Wings publication, we have done the editing of 4 or 5 times, being a technical book.
Yes.
So a lot of spell checks, auto spell check will create a lot of problem being a technical book. But then again, editing and re-editing, the help was really phenomenal. Yeah. So this was really good for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the listeners, now let me tell you a very, very interesting thing about Prakash's book. Do you know that Prakash ji has sold more than 500 copies before the book was launched? And now you'll ask this question, no, how it is possible? Yes, it is possible. He did more than 500 copies sold. I just want to, listen to Prakash's experience, because, we have a pre-launch setup where every time your mobile keeps ringing, ting, 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 that's the sound of money coming when someone buys the book. That's the setup it is. So how was your experience when a lot of people were buying book before it was launched? So share a little bit about experience on pre-launch.
Yeah, you said it in the beginning that it was one of the unique book, and we did a lot of propaganda, or we have communicated that within the community of pest controls that we have brought out a book which is totally Indianized, and most of them were our colleagues and we have worked with us, and they showed a lot of interest in that. Without knowing what is there inside the book, they have started buying it. And it was a very good encouragement for us that, through Amazon after the launch, but before the launch, we did a payment gateway and we took it, and then, through that. And I think before launching exactly, numbering, I think we sold somewhere around close to 400 and odd books.
447, what I remember.
Yes, that was the number. And it's going on now. So now what we are doing is after the launch, there was a bit of slowdown, but the libraries of Karnataka Government Library, of course, they work with a lot of protocols, and I am still in the queue. So they are going to buy around 500 copies. So I will have to go back to Wings Publication to do the printing. But my experience was really amazing. And I was not anticipated that people will go with this type of encouragement by buying the book, 437 books before launch. That was really awesome experience for both of us.
Yeah.
Me and Ravi.
So listeners, I want to tell you another very important thing. They've been asked, Prakash has been contacted and asked to convert this book, translate this book in other languages. Yep. So I would like to ask him top 2 languages after English. What are the top 2 languages we're looking at to translate?
Yeah, we are still looking at and then discussing and working out how do we work it out. So one is Tamil Nadu Pest Control Association. They wanted our book in Tamil. So they have assured us that they will come out with around 300 copies to give it to their members. So that is one thing. And then the second one is apart from English, the next best language is Hindi.
Hindi, yes.
So where North India and most of the states, they follow Hindi. And we are thinking of bringing out the book in Hindi language also. We are discussing with one of the business partners. So how do we can together take it out? Because Hindi, why we are thinking is, in pest control, apart from the business owners, most of the supervisors and the workers, spraymans, so they are 12th or worst come to us, they are graduates. So they know Hindi better than English. I mean, it will become close to their heart and the understanding will be very easy. So that is the purpose. So we are coming out with languages. Yeah. Later on, we will have to see how the other languages will pick it up. But these 2 languages, yes, we are working on that.
Yeah. Thank you. Good that, a lot of people who actually follow are not that educated in English. They follow local languages or Hindi. So I'm very happy that you decided to get this book in other languages. Yeah. Now I want to share a very important thing. I always remember, I have attended a lot of book launch being a publisher, but what I attended Prakashji's book launch was the most memorable thing. Book was launched by kids. Young kids launch the book, which puts a lot of inspiration to them. But the question to Prakashji, which I want Prakashji to share, is there were a lot of very senior people from industry joined. I also remember someone who was father of Indian pest control. industry was also there. So would you like to highlight the guests who were there on the book launch from the industry,
Yeah.
and very senior people?
Senior people is there are two very senior people were there who also I was fortunate to have forward written for my book. One was Mr. Kannan Unni. So he is not only the father of pest control, but he is considered as fatherly figure in agrochemical industry as
Wow.
such. He is 82 years now, but still very active he is in the board of many of the companies. So he was there. He was very good that he accepted my invitation to write a foreword and as well as participate in our launch program. And the second one was Dr. Anil Kumar Makapati. He was my colleague, and he was the head of R&D when I launched my book. That time he was the head of R&D for SC Johnson, Ricket and Bankaiser. That is the company. And now he has joined back in Bayer. He is the global R&D head now
For Bayer, yes.
for Bayer, based in Singapore.
Awesome.
So these are the two people from whom I have started ABCD of my career, and then they were all supportive to me. And launching the book with children, you said, no?
Yes.
So normally we, in our tradition, we consider kids as God, and they are the only. I think they are the only people who are non-judgmental. So basically, they even if they want to comment, they comment left, right, center without any hesitation. So being that non-judgmental, I thought, okay, I will make use of kids to launch my book, to unveil my book. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's put it in a different direction. I have heard, rather experienced too, but I want to listen to your story. When you write a book, people's perception change about you. There's the people who perceive you before as an author. Once the book launched, the perception changes. Do you want to share some highlight? How was your experience when people knew you are writing, you wrote a book, it's published, and any experience you want to share on post publishing, how people looked at you?
Yeah. It's a real good experience I mean, one should experience that. See, actually what happened was when we announced that we are going to write a book, the people will definitely, I mean, we got a lot of encouragement and good wishes, thumbs up, and all those things were there. But once we launched our book, people, I mean, that was an experience. I started feeling that people are looking at us as experts. Earlier also, they were considering us as an expert because we have worked in the industry for quite long. But after the writing, what has happened is they have started looking at us as an authority, apart from the expertise. Yeah. So that has really given us a very good confidence within ourselves. And people started asking for seeking suggestions and calling us, and then this is the pest and this is what I am using, and do you have any other alternative? I mean, this type of phone calls started coming in. So I was feeling really good about that. So the perception really changes. People look at us as an authority. Yeah.
Awesome, wonderful. So I want all now you are a senior, you're writing your second book that we'll talk in a couple of minutes, but I want to give some suggestions to people who are thinking to write a book or they're in the process of writing. Any suggestion do you want to give to them? What practices can help them to finish the book?
Uh-huh. One is by my own experience. I am telling that, persistency is very much required. We have to continuously fix up a time. Let me take some water here. Fix up a time on every day maybe early morning or late in the evening or any time, whichever is convenient to you. Fix up a time and then start scribbling, start jotting down maybe half an hour or 1 hour or 1,000 words a day. Like that, fix up in your mind that every day you will write. Maybe at the end of the day, when you do the editing, some pages may go off, but that is one thing, practice one should adopt. So that is what, with my experience, I can tell. And persistency in writing. Yeah. As I told you in the beginning, when you keep a paper and the pen, and if you start thinking, the pen may not move, but whatever that comes, because in TLC, our Guru Murali Sundaram, he keeps on telling that start vomiting whatever you know on the paper.
Yes.
Yeah, then you do the editing. So I really followed that. I really followed that, and then I think I will give, if there is a chance to give some guidance to some people, then this is what I tell them, that whatever that comes to your mind, keep writing.
Keep writing, be
Keep writing.
persistent, be consistent,
Yeah.
fix a time, fix a place to write.
Yes.
So I know you're writing your second book. I know, a lot should be hidden for the people because surprises should be surprises. But if you want to touch upon little bit on, if whatever you feel comfortable to share on the second book.
Yeah. I'm going ahead with simultaneously with my second and third, one after the other. My second book is again related to the pest control industry itself, because whatever additions we have to make, I have already done it in our second edition of the printing. We have added 12 more pages into our book. That edition has already in the market. My second thing is, apart from the technical knowledge, because technical knowledge nowadays it's available free. Even if you Google it, you get to know all the information. In the business, when we do the pest control, when we see pest control as a business, what are all the mistakes one can commit? And I'm going to write on that. There are about 10 or 12 blunders or the mistakes what one can encounter, and how do we correct it. And that is what is all about. I don't want to reveal complete things. That these are some of the things which in my second book. And my third book, I'm also writing. It is almost 70% is done. Is on PRT. It is my firm name, my name, and also PRT. I am writing it on pause, reflect, and transform.
Wow.
So how do we make use of those pause and reflect principles to transform ourselves as a leader? Yeah.
So I also want to know, other than book, being an author, you also coach people and leaders on leadership coaching. Can you put some highlight, how you are helping organizations? And maybe in the last, you can also tell that if someone want to get in touch with you to, take your help on growing his business, what level and how should they reach you? So two questions rather, what you do and how people can reach you.
Yeah. See, basically, I do individual coaching as well as team coaching. And in case of individual coaching, and when I am approached by the corporates, normally there is no set curriculum as such for coaching. Whatever they would like to know or whatever they would like to learn. So my first question will be during the coaching to them is what you would like to bring onto the table for discussion for today. So on that next 60 minutes or 75 minutes, I will be coaching them. So basically, I will be keep on asking the questions to instigate their own thinking and making them realize their own potential. So this is what, in a nutshell, what coaching means, and then what is that I do. And normally coaching happens between the sessions. after the session, the amount of reflection the client undergo, that is what the coaching, that is where the coaching happens. And it takes time for the transformation. So minimum 6 to 8 sessions one has to undergo. So this is what I do. And
How can people reach you for taking?
So you can reach
professional
me
help?
on my website. www.prakashthalya.in is my website, and my LinkedIn also they can.
So you can reach him on his website, you can search him on LinkedIn, send a message, and he will be available to help you to take the business to the next level. Now, one last question from my side, Prakashji, is not only in book, but there are people around us who we should always give them gratitude that they are part of a life and the life is growing. Would you like to give gratitude in the journey of book writing? Rather, I would say life. Who are the important people in your life who you should give gratitude on screen in front of everyone right now? I know you must be giving them gratitude every day, but this would be recorded and would be live for forever.
Yes, I practice it every day, as you rightly said, because that is one thing which will give us, which energize us, gratitude. First and foremost is my parents, who have taught us, brought us into this world and taught us how to walk. So to my parents and my primary school teachers, who has helped us, taught us the alphabets. Then as we grow, it is our teachers and also my colleagues and peers. When I started working, as I told you, Anil or Mr. Unni, though they were bosses, they really handholded us to come to up to this level. So my gratitude to all my colleagues and peers. And TLC, Guru Murali, I should thank him because it is not only enhancement of the enriching the knowledge, but he is the one through TLC we learned how to put all our dreams into actionable items. How do we take action? So my gratitude to TLC. And finally, my gratitude to Wing Publication for bringing my book.
Thank you. We were honored to work with you. It is a wonderful book.
Yes.
So thank you very much to get time out of your busy schedule and speak to us for the interview. Audience, listeners, if you want to contact Mr. Prakash Thalya, I want you to go to his website, prakashthalya.in. Let me spell it for you. PRAKASHTHALYA.in, prakashthalya.in, or you go and search him on LinkedIn. And humble request, if you like this interview and if you are working in the pest control or pest controls are living in your house, we all. So we should go and buy this book on Amazon. Go to Amazon, write his name, his book will come. Can you show the book once, Prakash Thalya, for the cover?
Yes, I can show this. 1 minute, I will
remove the background.
Yeah.
So he's showing the cover. So when you go to Amazon, search his name, look for this cover and go ahead and buy this book. Essentials of Pest Management. Green color header with a yellow pest management written on it. Please go ahead and buy this book, and you contact him for your growth, your business growth. He will always be there to help you. In case you are planning to write a book, you need help in book coaching, book writing, book publishing. We are always there. wingspublication.com. You can go to our website, or you can search me, Dr. Kailash Pinjani, on LinkedIn and contact me. Through us, all the authors are accessible to all of you. Thank you very much again, Prakashji, for spending good time with us. And
thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Kailash.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.